When my wife, Clara, told me to sleep on the couch until I apologized, I honestly thought it was just a small argument that would fade overnight. We'd had disagreements before, about chores, money, and even family visits, but this time felt different. Her tone wasn't angry, just cold and dismissive, as if I were some annoying stranger rather than her husband of 6 years. It all started because I pointed out how she had been spending more time on her phone than talking to me. Every evening, I'd see her smiling down at her screen, barely reacting to anything I said. I wasn't accusing her of anything at first, I just missed her attention. But instead of explaining, she snapped. "If you're going to act jealous over nothing," she said, "you can sleep on the couch until you learn to say sorry." I didn't argue. That night, I took my pillow and blanket to the couch, hoping it would be a one-night punishment that would lead to laughter the next morning. But as the days passed, Clara seemed completely fine without me in the bed. She'd hum songs while getting ready for work and barely looked my way. Something in me started to ache, a mix of hurt and suspicion. On the third night, while lying awake on the couch, I decided to find out why she was so distant. I wasn't proud of it, but I waited until she fell asleep and checked her phone, which she'd left on the counter. There it was, messages from a coworker named Evan. The conversation was innocent on the surface, but the tone told another story. Late-night texts filled with laughter, inside jokes, and a few wish-you-were-here comments. My stomach dropped. I didn't confront her right away. Instead, I acted as though nothing was wrong. The next few days, I quietly observed her behavior. She'd smile at her phone and quickly lock it when I entered the room. When I asked how work was going, she'd give vague answers. The woman who once couldn't stop talking about her day now avoided me completely. That weekend, I decided it was time for a little truth test. I told her my friend had invited me on a short road trip. I wanted to see her reaction, if she'd show even a hint of concern. But instead, she barely looked up. "Do whatever you want," she said coldly. That was all the confirmation I needed. While she thought I was gone, I stayed back quietly and waited. Around 9 p.m., a car pulled up outside. I watched from the window as Clara hurried out the door, dressed up like she was going to a fancy dinner. The same car from her messages, the one that belonged to Evan. They drove off together, laughing like a couple who had no worries in the world. The next morning, before she came back, I packed a few things. But I wasn't leaving. Not yet. I had a plan. I printed out screenshots of the messages between her and Evan and left them neatly stacked on the kitchen table, right next to a note that read, "You wanted me to say sorry. So here's my apology for trusting you." When she returned, her face turned pale. "What's this?" she stammered, flipping through the papers. I didn't yell. I didn't even raise my voice. I just looked at her and said, "I think the couch is yours now." Then I walked out. She tried to call me several times over the next few days, crying, apologizing, and saying it wasn't what it looked like. But I didn't respond. I'd already decided I deserved peace more than her excuses. I stayed with my brother while I filed for separation. The couch that she once forced me onto had become the symbol of how she treated me, temporary, replaceable, and unwanted. A week later, I got a message from one of her co-workers. Apparently, she'd been reported for her overly friendly behavior with Evan, and it had caused tension at work. Word spread, and soon everyone knew why her marriage had fallen apart. The same pride that made her kick me to the couch had now left her completely alone. Months passed, and I finally moved into my own place. It wasn't much, but it was peaceful. No silent treatments, no hidden phones, no cold stares. Sometimes I'd laugh remembering how that one command, "Sleep on the couch," had started it all. She thought it would break my pride, but it ended up freeing me instead. I heard from mutual friends that she regretted everything and wanted to talk. But by then, I had nothing left to say. Some apologies come too late, especially when the person demanding one was the one who owed it all along. In the end, I realized that love doesn't survive on silence, blame, or pride. It survives on respect, and once that's gone, there's nothing left worth saving. So, I let her keep the couch, the house, and the guilt. I took back my peace and never looked back.